Good morning and welcome. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK, and it is lovely to welcome you into my crafty space on this Friday morning. If you are joining me live, or whenever you happen to be joining me live, to catch up on some news and to do a little bit of crafting. So let me just bring in some slides and introduce myself a little bit more detail. This is my website where you will find me, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and over on that website you will find inspiration in blog posts. You'll find links to book onto classes both in person and through the post or virtually. You'll find downloadable tutorials, retired stocks, linked to my shops, all sorts of things happening over on that website. So do go and check that out. And wherever you're looking for me on social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, then do look out for Love-a-Duckie, and that's hopefully where you will find me in all of those places. Um, just a quick reminder that we are still in February, so that means we're still enjoying celebration. So still lots of opportunities to earn lots of freebies, whether you are shopping with me, hosting with me, or whether you are joining the family. And just a reminder as well that they've added some more additional celebration items, and these additional items all come from current publications, whether that's the annual catalogue or whether that is the mini. So there's opportunities to earn these additional celebration items as well when you place orders of £45 or more. So do check all of those out on my shop. And if you want any more details about any of those things, then don't hesitate to reach out. If you don't have a demonstrator currently, do reach out and I would be delighted to help you. A few classes that I've got upcoming. I need to swap one of these out because we enjoyed our lighting the way stamper stack on Tuesday. Next week we've got a technique class with the background stamps. We've got a make one take one kit class coming up at the beginning of March using either or the True Beauty products or vintage Pretty Bird. So we've got two kits that you can choose from. You can either choose to take both kits or do one or the other. So there's some lovely opportunities there. Other things we've got coming up. So next month, March's Stamper Stack is going to be using the Fancy Flora Sweets products. A technique class next month is going to be looking at cards that move. And in March's Saturday Stampers, that's in 10 till 3 all-day event, we're going to be looking at some springtime celebrations. So think Easter, Mother's Day, just pretty spring-like cards for birthdays, all of those sorts of things, whatever we're celebrating in the spring, or whether we are just celebrating the fact that it is spring. Those things will all be covered in that Saturday Stampers class coming up at the beginning of March. So those are some things to look forward to. Before I start creating this morning, there was something else I was going to share with you. So good morning to Lisa. I'm going to share with you a few swaps that I've had come through. So I've been part of a couple of swaps with the mini catalogue, the January to April mini catalogue, and I've had some beautiful cards come through this week. So I thought I'd share some of them with you because they may be products that I haven't yet got, or they may be just a different take on some of the products that I have got. So let me show just some of the ones that I've had through this week. I thought I'd share a few on each of my lives for the next few sessions. And yeah, let me bring in my downward facing camera and let me show you what I have here. So this is a beautiful card. Let me just pop it out of the cellophane. Otherwise, all you're going to see is the glare from the cellophane. So this is from Karen Henderson has created this one, Furry Cat Designs. And it's sort of like a little And the front panel is shorter than the back panel. You've got to flash this beautiful paper, and this is using the Petal Park bundle. So that is a stamp and punch bundle there. So you've got that little punched out flower in the front there. Got this gorgeous embossing folder, just really beautiful, lots of texture in that. So that's a really pretty card from Karen. This is using the Silly Goose. This one has Nicola. Just looking, and it looks as if my camera, sorry, as if I'd frozen. Just going to check my internet. Alter the internet on that. Hopefully that will be a bit better. I've got an extension internet out into the conservatory, and it sometimes knocks off the extension onto the ordinary one, and I think that's why it freezes. Hopefully we're back and visible now. So this is the Silly Goose stamp set. Isn't that just cute, with his little balloon and those strips of paper? So that's a gorgeous card from Nicola. We are going to be using the Silly Goose for a stamp stack in April, I do believe. This is a stamp set, another stamp set. So I haven't yet got the Silly Goose. That's on my to buy list. And this one is from the lovely Kate Bolt, and she's used the Taco Fiesta stamp set to create a Holy Guacamole, It's Your Birthday card. They're just really fun little advocados, aren't they? If you like an advocado, then or you have friends that do, then that definitely might be a card for you. This is beautiful. This is using the Country Floral Lane Suite and the Country Bouquet stamps and those punches. Got the bricks and mortar embossing folder in the background there with some sort of graffiti style on there. Isn't that gorgeous? That's a lovely, lovely card. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate you. That's really beautiful. Those papers sort of crisscross here of vellum. Just really lovely. Gorgeous card. And used, the sentiment comes from the Shake a Milkshake bundle, as do the dies. So this die just here. That's really nice. That's not one I've got. Then we've got one here from Michelle Bryant. She's used those gnomes. There's no one better than you to create this nice little fold back card. It's really cute. And then the final card I'm going to share with you is the card that I put into this particular swap, and that will bring us quite nicely into what we're going to be playing with this morning, because this is the Easter Bunny. And I have actually stamped him onto some crumb cake card there and just added in some detail with watercolour pencils, and added in some carrots and butterflies and some of the grass and some deckled rectangles. So that's my little enjoy all the little moments Easter Bunny that I put into that particular card swap, and I had to make 30 of those. I did get a few back because obviously not everybody had sent their cards into the swap, so they didn't need to use all 30, so I have got a few of these back, but that's fine because they're cute little cards that I'm sure will find a good home. So that gave us a good introduction to what we're actually going to be playing with this morning, which is indeed the Easter Bunny stamp and punch bundle. We always like a stamp and punch bundle, and this is a particularly cute one. I do love this little bunny. I particularly love this little one just here. He looks like he's eaten his fill of carrots, and he's probably eaten more than he could possibly manage. A couple of other little ones. It's this little bunny here that will coordinate with this punch, so you're able to stamp him and punch him out. But you've got Easter eggs, you've got flowers, you've got a carrot, a little bird, so you've got obviously some Easter sentiments in there, but they're not all Easter sentiments. There is that enjoy all the little moments, you're a friend like no other, hi, some really cute little sentiments in there. So that's the Easter Bunny stamp set, say the punch to go with it. And here they are in the catalogue with some of the samples that have been created. There's a couple of little bunnies, one with a butterfly on their nose and one with a garland of flowers. This little one here is sitting amongst the carrot patch. There's a little tag there. Again, it's been stamped onto some, looks like possibly Sahara sand cardstock, with the little Easter eggs to make a little tag for your Easter treats. And then if we flip to the back, the little Easter bunnies have just simply been punched out of some designer series paper. Some of the subtles by the look of that, 6x6 designer stack. And then there's some just some simple stamping on the background of that card to create that little card that's for a friend like no other. So they're indeed very unique little bunnies, just punched out of paper. And the paper that I'm going to team it up with today is this Dandy Designs 12x12 pack that is a celebration item. You can get this bumper 48 sheets of double-sided 12x12 papers as a free item from the celebration selection. And you can see here that they've been used, those papers have been used to make some cute little Easter crackers, obviously with little Easter treats in. I would imagine some little Easter eggs or something, chocolate eggs. And the bunny has been used to make the little tag that's just been put into a simple little box. They're really rather cute. So yeah, we'll have a play with these papers. There's a huge selection here of really lovely sort of generic background designs in spots and checks and stars and flowers, all sorts of things going on there, and in those sort of nice fresh springtime sort of colours, so they're perfect. And because we just like combining lots of things all at once, I'm going to bring in a sketch challenge. So this is for the upcoming Casually Crafted blog hop. So this is a challenge in which we do not use any dies. It is sort of taking it back relatively to basics, but we can use punches. So this Easter bunny with his little punch seems perfect for this challenge. We can either stamp him direct onto our cardstock, or we can punch him out. So we're going to use this background, this challenge here with these different papers. So we've got a strip across the background here, we've got two strips coming down here, we've got a shape in the middle. Of course, that doesn't have to be a circle when you have a challenge. You don't have to interpret it completely as it is. We could turn it around this way and have our strips going that way. We can change up the shape of this. We could perhaps have strips of ribbon coming across here rather than strips of card or paper. So lots of ways that we can tweak these challenges, but we're going to use our challenge, we're going to use our Easter bunnies, and we're going to see where all of that takes us. But we're not allowed to use dies. So this middle image here cannot be a die cut. So it definitely won't be, I don't think, a circle, because we haven't got any big current circles that size. We have got this sort of shape just here that we might use. We could perhaps possibly have a heart in there, or a rectangle of some sort. We'll have a look. We can use one of our punched shapes, or we could simply cut a square and perhaps have a diamond in the center there. instead. So let's have a look. Let's choose some paper. This is rather pretty, isn't it? This spotty print, as is this purple just here. It's actually squares on that, but I quite like that check and those spots. I've got some smaller pieces just there. What other colours are in the background paper there? There's the greens and things. So it's a bit busy, but we could perhaps bring in some of this one. I think that one rather than that one. There is the greens on the back as well. Oh, that's quite nice. That's quite fun. So let's have a little bit of a play with these. Oh, that one sends the camera a little bit funny, doesn't it? So I think for our card base, I may stick with basic white, I think, with all of these patterns going on. It might be as well to stick to a white base card. I think we'll have the spots in the background, so I'm going to cut this down to 14.4 by 10. I think I tried to trim too small a piece off of that one, and it just caught it a little bit and made it a little ragged. Let's bring in a mini trimmer and just tidy that up. Right, so we have a spotty base just there. To bring a stripe right across the middle, and I think I'm going to make that be about 4 centimeters, I think. And we'll make that 14.4 long as well. A stripe across the middle. I'm going to take this piece just here. And I'm going to cut a strip. I'm going to go 3.5. I don't want it quite as wide as our strip across the middle. And these I'm going to cut at let's go 8 centimeters. You can see how using our challenge, we are beginning to build up a background on that card using all of those different coordinating spring-like papers. And of course, we could be using entirely different papers, and that would give an entirely different look, but it would be using that same basic challenge. Let's come in now and take something for that center. I'm going to take this heart just here. And excuse me while I We'll travel around and get a little bit of an oddment, a fresh freesia card. Let's punch a scalloped heart. So this is from the heart punch pack. We've got our scalloped heart that could come in the middle here, and then our plain heart we could stamp from some basic white. Let's just move these to one side for a minute. And let's bring in Bunny. I'm going to bring in the bunny I can punch out. And let's stamp him onto a piece of basic white. And we'll use a Memento ink. Ink him up. Put our piercing mat underneath, just to give a bit of sponging effect to that stamp. Then, what colour shall I go with my rabbit? I'm taking grey rather than being brown. Let's bring in some petal pink. I'm bringing some petal pink on his ears, on his nose, around his mouth, might give him a little bit of petal pink cheeks. Coming in with the dark smoky slate. Let's just sort of come in around the edge here a little bit. The dark. And his feet. Let's come in with the lighter one. And his legs. His ears. I'm going to swap round to the bullet point and just blend that in a little bit. And then using this light one, I'm just going to add in just a little bit around the edge of this tail, just to help that white pop a little bit. Leave that tummy bit white. Should have stamped this at the bottom of this bit of card, but I didn't. I stamped it at the top. So let's just cut that down and pop our little bunny into our punch. I think I'm going to take another scalloped heart and another white one. That, I think, is a retired white heart. What have I done with that heart punch? I had it just now. Might have gone far. Here we are. I'm going to have that as 2 heart punches, I think, in the middle there. We'll have a happy Easter. We'll stamp that in fresh freezer, I think. And let's have a little row of Easter eggs. To have a quick look at the colours that we've got in here. Let's have a little look to colour our Easter egg. We'll have some fresh freesia. Granny apple green. Come in with a little bit of soft sea foam, I think. And perhaps some pool party. Because we don't have a coastal cabana. Granny apple green. Some fresh freesia. Soft sea foam. Let's come in with some light pool party. Ooh. Those were both dark pool parties, not what we want. Come in with some dark soft sea foam on this egg just here for the background. And this one, let's have some stripes. It's coming dark pool party at the top here. A little bit of dark fresh freesia. And we'll go light granny apple green. We'll come in with this at the pool party because the other one is pretty well worn out. Let's just add in a bit of colour there. So there we are. We've got 3 little eggs. I'm going to bring in my paper snips. Cut those out. A little bit of a border going around the edge. And I'll decide in a minute whether I need to cut that one on the end off altogether or whether the border means they can stay together. I think the border means they can stay together. I'm just looking for my big pair of scissors. I thought I'd put them back in the tray earlier. But if I did, they've disappeared now. Let's just bring these snips in. Longer scissors are always better for these sorts of jobs, and because the longer blade gives you a slightly straighter line. Let's snip the ends off of there. And I think let's bring in this oddment of fresh freesia card, and we'll just, oh, here's my big scissors. See, couldn't see them for looking just now. Suddenly look up and there they are staring at me. Right, let's have a little look at putting this together. So we haven't used any dies, we've used some punches, some paper, stamped and coloured in. So let's start off by sticking our paper in place. Take the lid off the glue, it functions so much better when you do that. This particular glue is on its last legs. There's not too much left in there, but we don't like to waste anything, so we will squeeze it out as much as we can. So there's our spotty paper for the background. Followed by our strip across the centre. A stripe coming down this side. I'm not going to press that down too hard in case I need to wiggle that slightly. This looks like somebody's cross-stitched it, this particular pattern of paper. Lots and lots of little crosses on it. Those shades of green. Just see if I can't ease that over slightly. I've got a slightly bigger border that side than this side. About like that. Let's put these hearts together. And 2. So the thing about challenges, nobody's going to, come back and give you marks out of 10 and say, that's not exactly how it was supposed to be. Start again. Leave that one in place for a minute and slip that one in the back there. At the moment, these have all gone on flat. I am going to bring in some dimensionals for my bunny. He's very cute, this little bunny. Now, to decide, I might actually come in, having been undecisive about whether I was going to snip these eggs apart or not. I am going to, because I think I'm going to have 2 one side and 1 the other, a bit like that. I think I shall put some dimensionals under that greeting. And we'll have that just there. His legs fit quite nicely around that greeting. But then we'll just put some ombre on here. And we'll have that little pair of eggs this side. And this little one just here. I've just got a little bit of white twine just here. It should just about be enough to create a bow. And we will just pop that underneath there. with a glue dot if I can find one. Let's just tuck that under there a little bit. Let's just have a bit of a play with that because that's bunched up a little bit, that thread. So just a cute little card, just using punches and paper. So that works quite nicely with our challenge. But I think while we've got the bunnies, I'll take this little bunny just here so that we won't be able to punch him out. Will he fit on there? No, we will have to cut him out to fit on there. But that we can do. We have the technology. So let's take this little bunny. Let's stamp him again with memento. Putting in our piercing match. Another little reel to add to my collection. I tend to collect up all my ribbon reels and spools and things from my thread and then donate them to various children's groups or whatever because they're rather lovely when they're junk modelling and things, particularly the ribbon things. They make great wheels. Right, I'm going to come crumb cake with this bunny, I think. I've got the dark crumb cake here. Could of course have been digging out those natural blends. Got lots of nice sort of fur and not just good for skin tones, they're great for fur and things as well. Just colour in around here, coming around his face. Oh, I think he needs a bit of pink. His nose and mouth. Let's give him some pinkish cheeks as well. Let's do a bit of white around his eyes. Let's come in, give him some pink feet. Bring in the ivory. His tummy just here, so he's going to have a white tummy. We're going to come in the ivory instead. Still a different tone on that tummy section, but a bit paler. And let's bring in the petal pink the inside of his ears as well. Cute. So cute. Now, this little bunny, I am going to bring in the carrot stamp. Stamp a carrot. And I think also bring in a little flower stamp. And we'll stamp that. I'll do a granny apple green top to the carrot. And obviously a bit of pumpkin pie. I'm going to come in with the light pumpkin pie. And that little carrot. And have a little look. Some Calypso coral. Got that petal pink. Let's bring the dark petal pink in as well as the light petal pink. To bring in the dark daffodil delight as well, because we haven't got the Mango Melody lens now. Let's just do some of these flowers. I think we'll come in here with the Calypso coral. Let's have some dark daffodil delight just here. I think in the centre of that one. Come in with dark petal pink for this flower just here. And perhaps the centre of that one. There's Calypso coral in the centre of that one, blending out to some dark petal pink. And then the leaves, let's come in with some light granny apple green. Some dark soft sea foam here. And I'm just going to take the light daffodil delight at the centre just there. Right. Yeah, those little snips gone there just here. Let's do a bit of fussy cutting. Obviously, I'm going to be doing mine in a little bit more of a hurry than you might be doing yours. Of course, we're not creating, because this is we're looking at casually crafting, we're looking at creating without the use of our die cutting machine. So we can't add in any embossing either. Go heat embossing, but not embossing folders with your die cutting machine. And it actually is quite a challenge sometimes to come up with cards that don't use dies or embossing folders. Perhaps not quite so much embossing folders, but that don't, you know, that you don't use your machine at all. But I think it's always good to have a challenge. And fabulous if you are just starting out and have not yet got all of the bits of equipment. But if you are just starting out and got a nice long list of things that you would like, then you could really think about joining up during this celebration period, because you'd be able to choose £170 worth of things, and that could be tools and things, but you could also, for £125, get your £175 worth of things and also get yourself a little mini machine. So you could very quickly be playing with dies and some of our smaller embossing folders. I'm just going to cut round these flowers. And leaves. As I said, I am rushing this slightly compared to what you need to do. You're cutting them out. But the other thing I am going to do is I'm going to dig about in my little toolbox back here and find a craft knife. And I'm going to come in, excuse me, little bunny, without the aid of any anaesthetic, and perform a bit of an operation on my bunny so that I can pop that little carrot just in there. And I think what I need to do is, let's also go in, I think I could do with a new blade on my knife. Let's come in. I would actually be better doing this on my glass mat. Let's see if we can get that carrot, yes, to come all the way through there and keep out the other side of his arms. And we'll have the little thing of flowers. Let's have a look at some of these these patterns that have got more of the yellows and things in. I rather like this check just here. Perhaps a stripe of yellow. Might come in with the stars that are on that side. And I think this time we will turn our challenge round so it's that way. So let's get some trimmer in. So we're going to start with a piece of this paper that is 10 centimetres wide, 14.4 long, so your standard first size mat. And I'm going to take a piece of flowery paper and cut a strip that is, I think I'm going to go 4 centimetres again. I'll stick with that by 14.4. We'll have that coming down the middle. And let's come in with these stripes just here. I'm going to cut that to 7 centimetres by 8. Then I'm going to swing it back round and cut it in half at 3.5. Let's have a look at that. These will come across this way. I'm going to bring in this mat just here. I think we'll have, if I can find some. Excuse me as I scrabble around. Let's punch ourselves a petal pink label. To come in here. I'm going to do one in Coastal Cabana as well. And I'm going to cut it in half this way and just explode that out behind here. I'm going to stick that all on in a moment. Take some of the crinkled seam binding and make quite a nice, I might do a swirl actually behind that bit. And then sentiment wise, I think we might have another happy Easter. In Coastal Cabana. I'm just going to cut around that a little bit. Let's just come around there. And let's do happy. Somebody outside is blowing their horn. We're just sort of shadow cutting this a little bit into the individual letters. Let's get some glue on the go and let's find another basic white card base. I think with all the colour going on with the paper, the white background will be best. So come on, off you come for a moment. So these little bunnies just here would be perfect to add to play with along with the celebration carrot set, the thanks a bunch set. Pop that flowery paper in there. And this is the other side of that check, giving us these stars. Let's just lay that down for a minute until we get this one in. And nice even strips with those. Stick that behind there. And then evenly do the same on the other side, lining that up by eye. Take some strips of tear and tape across the back here. Drowning in paper and bits and pieces now. Let's choose my take a pick tool to take the backing off of this ribbon. And then we'll give it a bit of a swirl across the back. Stick. Stick, stick, stick. Trim. Let us find some dimensional. I've got this big pack of paper resting beside me that looks at any minute as if it's going to slide off onto the floor. So if you think there looks like there's a jumble of things within the piece that you can, within camera view, you want to see the rest of it. Let's pop that centrally and trim that off a little bit on that side. Then let's bring in our bunny. So we've put dimensionals underneath that, so we will just put some glue, and I've added a spot of glue on the back of that carrot just there, as well as the rabbit, so that will all help to hold that carrot in place. We'll put a mini dimensional under there if you wanted to hold that up a little bit. Bring in these flowers. We'll add those on the front, and then we will get some mini dimensional somewhere from underneath. I hope they're big ones. These are minis. Let's add some mini dimensionals underneath here. I think I'm going to need to trim this little bit in half. And let's put the other half on there. And I think we'll get a whole one just there. Take those backing pieces off. Have Easter here. put a second little dimensional under there because it's overlapping the edge, and this is already raised up on dimensional, so if I pop a second dimensional under there and make that double layered, that will keep that in line. Now there's our cute little bunny hugging his carrot. Just wondering. Actually, I'm going to come in with some little heart pearls, I think. These are quite pretty. You get sort of 3 different finishes on them. Let's come in with the pearly pearls, shall we? Have a bigger one. Come here. And these pearls are being, they don't want to be kept under control. So happy Easter. So 2 little Easter cards when I can find my other one. Created combining the Easter bunny. Yes. The Easter bunny stamp and punch combo. There's the stamp set. Here's the punch. Here's the 2 little cards that we've created with them, and we've used all of those gorgeous that are just cascading around me, all of these beautiful papers from that celebration bumper pack of papers. So really cute little bunnies. What's not to love? And a couple of little Easter cards. If you send lots of Easter cards out, then it's good. You'll be, I'm sure, in full production by now. And if you don't send Easter cards out, or haven't in the past, perhaps now would be a good time to start, because who wouldn't love lots of little bunnies? I think there may be some grandchildren who have these little Easter bunnies heading their way, and they're fabulous for making gift packaging and for making your scrapbook pages after Easter to keep those memories of all of those things that you got up to, eating chocolate and frolicking amongst the daffodils, whatever it was. So I hope you enjoyed those, and if I can be of any help, if you have any questions, then do not hesitate to reach out. It was fun to play with those this morning, a bit of colouring. Enjoy a really lovely weekend. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will be back with you on Monday morning. So until then, take care and happy crafting, and I'll see you all very soon.